So after the second inning, my hand, it was a little clumpy from the rosin and sweat. That it was clumpy, and Phil told me to wash it off, so I washed it off. Came back out there after the third, with alcohol. I washed it with alcohol and rosin, and when I went back out there, the alcohol for a little bit there can be sticky in rosin. That can happen. So he was like, "That's too sticky. You need to go back on there, wash it off again, and reapply the rosin." And so I did that, and then at the same time, he thought my glove had too much rosin on it. And I was like, okay, if that's a problem, there's nothing going on. He's like, you need a new glove. Like, okay. So I come back out, pitch the third, and knew I was going to get checked in the fourth. So I'd have to be an absolute idiot to try to do anything when I'm coming back out for the fourth. So after that third inning, I'm in front of the MLB official. That's underneath here. I wash my hand with alcohol in front of the official. I then apply rosin, and then I grab sweat. When I then go back out there, and Phil Cuzzy says that my hand's too sticky. I don't get it. Yes, when you use sweat and rosin, your hand is sticky, but I don't get how I get ejected when I'm in front of MLB officials doing exactly what you want, and being deemed my hand's too sticky when I'm using legal substance. I do not understand that.
What did Phil say after you clearly explained that to him on the field?
He said my hand's too sticky, and I said, I swear on my kid's life, I'm not using anything else. This is sweat and rosin, sweat and rosin. I keep saying it over and over, and they touch my hand, they say it's sticky, and I yes, it is, because it's sweat and rosin, and they say it's too sticky. It's not, and they threw me out because of that.
Are you confident, given that you did everything in front of an MLB official, that this suspension would not be upheld? Do you feel like, because you did it in full view, that you can appeal the automatic suspension?
Yeah, now it's becoming a legal matter, and I don't want to comment what happens next, if I get suspended or not. We'll see what happens.
Max, your spin rate today was what it has been all season long. With technology that's in play, do you feel before umpires make a decision like this, there should be some communication with somebody before they jump to this conclusion?
I completely agree with that.
When you came back out to the bottom of the third after washing off, because he looked at your glove and it seemed like he kind of shoved it into your chest a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Was that playful or not?
No, it's fine. No, if he thought he thought I had too much rosin on my glove, and okay, we're pitchers. We have rosin. There's a little rosin on my glove. Get a new glove. Whatever. That's fine. Get a new glove. Go out there and pitch. That's fine. When I go out there for the fourth, like I said, I did exactly what you're supposed to do.
You were talking to him for about a minute before he visibly ejected you. Did he tell you right away when you came out that you were going to be ejected?
Well, no, he said my hand's too sticky. I said, Phil, that's sweat and rosin. There's sweat and rosin. I kept repeating, it's sweat and rosin. I swear on my life, it's sweat and rosin. I knew I was going to get checked. Like I said, I'd have to be an absolute idiot to use anything else. I literally go out there with sweat and rosin. I get ejected.
What was said before things got a little heated out there? Do you remember?
Just, his words were it was too sticky. And then, the other umpire, home plate umpire came in and said it's sticky. I don't know what you want me to do.
Max, in your mind, is it too objective at this point?
I will talk about this in the future, all the rules and this and that. Today is about being ejected over sweat and rosin.
How about the win after you left the game and the way the team won?
Yeah, finally we can talk some baseball. For our team to be able to bounce back like that, be able to score those runs, and for our bullpen to come in. For Yakubonis to have the warm up on the mound, come in, do what he did. For the other bullpen guys, everybody did their job today. And we beat a good team, and we took the series away from a good team. So that had us all fired up. That we all played well as a team, and we made this a team win.
Hey Max, how did you feel coming off the extra rest? How was the back, and how were you physically while you were out there?
Yeah, it was interesting. Was trying to figure out exactly what I had today, how much I could apply effort, and I was feeling good after the first inning. Kind of searching for what I had today. Then I kind of felt like I settled into. Was starting to find rhythm, being able to execute pitches, and my back wasn't flaring up. So, I don't know what my final pitch count would have been today, but I did feel good by the end of it.
Max, from a team perspective, what does it mean to a group when a guy like Yacobonis gets called upon in that type of a situation and performs that way?
Yeah, credit to him. You talk to any reliever, they hate they hate when they have to go warm up there in front of the mound or on the game mound. So for him to be able to step up in that situation and perform, kudos to him. He's going to get steak dinner for that.
What did you like about the way you were able to get out of the first inning with the bases loaded?
Yeah, just some ABs where I had a couple, bad walks, bases were loaded, but was able to generate a good strikeout when I needed it, and was able to escape that inning. So, sometimes, the first inning can be the trickiest inning, and was able to navigate without a run. So, that's what's great. Keep that 0 on the board and allow your team and your offense to be able to go out there and put up some runs.
When you came back out for the fourth, there was some discussion before Phil ejected you.
With who?
With you and the umpires, and Buck eventually came out. And after you guys talked for a little bit, then he made the motion that you were ejected.
Yeah, it was. He was saying my hand was too sticky.
Right. So but he didn't eject you immediately upon seeing that.
Yeah, you're going to have to ask the umpires that. I washed my hand off in front of an MLB umpire or MLB official. I then used rosin. I then used sweat. I did it in front of somebody. I did it in front of an MLB official. There's no other story here.
Do you get to state your case now to the league, or do you have to wait?
I don't know.
When you apply rosin before a start, what is your what do you do specifically?
I mean, yeah, you use rosin, you use sweat, and then once that clumps up, you take alcohol, you wipe it off, and you reapply everything. That's standard operating procedures.